Do not panic. Do not adjust your podcast device. It is not 1979 or even Cloughie in the late 80s. After the 3-0 win over West Ham, Nottingham Forest, 2 times champions of Europe, are third, and Chris Wood has become the reincarnation of Alan Shearer.
I know. I've got no words for Chris Wood. Incredible. His 8th goal of the season in 10 Premier League matches, 8 in 10. I think his XG is below 4, so I don't know how sustainable it is. We've said that before on the show, but take nothing away from him. Even if he's scoring chances that you don't expect him to score, he's doing great. Everything's going their way. They play good football, not Nuno style at all. Even he has seemed to be transformed himself and turned into Brian Clough somehow. So well done to everyone involved at Nottingham Forest for what is an incredible start of the season, the best they've surely ever had, even back in when they were very, very good. So,
well, they did win the league. So.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure when they won the league, they had that many points after 10 games. So we need to check, but amazing. So well done. Let's hope it continues for them.
Forest fans, should I have said Chris Wood is Trevor Francis? The problem is our audience skews a bit younger, and I think a lot of people might have forgotten Trevor Francis.
Was Trevor Francis more of a 10 than a Alan Shearer type of number 9 or not? I don't know. I don't know much about Trevor Francis.
I was like wearing diapers when all this happened. This is all before my time.
Yeah.
But which just underscores how remarkable
amazing.
All this is. And they're doing it while Evangelos Marinakis is suspended.
Yeah.
He's expectorating on somebody else's floor right now.
Exactly, with his lawyer. Milan beat Monza 1-0 with a Tijani Reinders goal. Gab, they need a win and a performance. Did they get both or just the win?
No, they only got the win. They did not look good. You know who did look good? Daniele Maldini.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Ridiculously
almost
good.
Scored an amazing goal.
Look, they deserve to win. They always look dangerous in transition because they have a billion guys running forward into space. We're not seeing any of that kind of possession-based patterns of play, probably also because Yusuf Fofana just arrived, and also I don't think that's his skill set. I mean, you watch a lot more of I am. He's not a deep-lying playmaker.
No, definitely not.
They looked better when Rafael Leao came on.
Of course.
And Rafael Leao, he had one move where he beats like 3 guys and then screws up his finish and kind of like encapsulate Rafael Leao. It was interesting because it was a contrast where Pioli talked about, I love Leao. I love Leao with his faults. I love him when he's good. I love him when he's bad. You have to have him out there, blah, blah, blah. And then you compare it with Fonseca, who says like, well, Leao is one of many players we have. For me, Leao is like Yunus Musa. For me, Leao is like Noah Okafor. And I don't know what the right approach is. So much of the idea that the Portuguese coach...
Show the love or show the not love?
Yeah, so much of the idea that the Portuguese coach would stick up for the Portuguese player. No, it's not working like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if he gets Leao working, if he does some sort of psychological voodoo on him, Milan are going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid get back to winning ways with a 2-0 win over Las Palmas with goals from the only living Sorloth in captivity.
Right. Lovely goal.
And how about the other goal scorer?
Yeah, well, that's Giuliano Simeone, the son of Diego Simeone, his first senior goal. Lovely finish, to be fair, the ball over the top. He runs, he plays on the right side of the team. It was better from Atletico after some really bad performances, we said, including, obviously, in the Champions League. They go to Paris in midweek on Wednesday night for a massive game between them and PSG, and you don't want to be the losing team on either. But at least they got a bit more confidence. They play a bit more like we know how they can. They defended well. Okay, Las Palmas are not great, and they've got Oli McBurney up front. But
stop it.
It was still good from Atletico to kind of go back to what made them so good. They played well in transition. They worked really hard. And they could have scored more goals even to the 2 that they scored. So that's what they needed, I think, at this time.
2 points here. One is what I love about the Simeone brothers, both Giuliano and Gio, is that while they obviously grew up wealthy and privileged, they inherited that sense of Cholismo from their dad because they play attacking positions the way, the way a defender or a linebacker in American football would play. They play with so much intensity and so much drive. And the other point about Oli McBurney, he moves to Las Palmas, which is 11 months of sunshine out of the year.
Yeah.
With his
skin, at the start of the season, he was red. Like, clearly, now he's better.
I'm surprised he doesn't wear some sort of bodysuit when he goes out there because or took his dermatologist.
He had an amazing assist the other day, so he's doing well.
He did.
Well. Gab, we wanted a reaction from Borussia Dortmund and Nuri Sahin after 3 straight defeats, and we got one.
We did. Now, I don't want to appear unkind, but Leipzig were really bad in this game.
Terrible.
Although
they took the lead, but still.
They had the early Sesko chance, and they took the lead, and then they kind of chucked it. Orban glitching at the back.
Yeah.
Gertruida.
Not good.
I don't. So look, you're at home, you're Borussia Dortmund, you're motivated, the players still have pride. I don't want to read too much into it. Sahin said afterwards, like, oh, we could lose 7 games in a row and I would still believe in my players. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But it's not really about whether you believe in your players, whether your players believe in you.
Yeah.
I think the players have enough pride to knock off the team that was joint top of the table with or without Sahin. I need to see this carry over into the Champions League.
Yeah.
Marseille moving to second place with a 2-1 win at Nantes. 7 goals in 10 games for Mason Greenwood, Jules.
Yeah, he had another one. Remember, he had a shocker the weekend before against PSG in the Classic where he was taken off at half-time for not doing anything in that first half.
To be fair, nobody in Marseille did anything in the first half.
But he was
get sent off.
His behavior was outrageous. The lack of effort and the lack of commitment and concentration was so bad that he was heavily criticized the whole week. So that's his response, and he's responded with a goal. Neil Maupay also scored. It's a massive win for them. They didn't play that great in the game, and you expect them to beat Nantes even away in Nantes, but still they need that badly. And now they're level on point with Monaco, 6 points behind PSG at second place. So let's not forget the Champions League next season is the priority for them and for the Zerbi. Not so much if they can win the title, of course, but so they are at a place where they want to be, and that win was big just for that.
Who do Paris Saint-Germain fans fear most? A, Monaco, B, Marseille, or C, nobody in Ligue 1?
No, I think Monaco were really good until I don't know what happened the last 10 days, man. They just disintegrated. But I think
Monaco more of a threat.
Yeah, Monaco are a better team, I think, when they are when they are on it. Roma come back twice at Verona, but ultimately lose 3-2. Gab Ivan Juric is under even more pressure. The fans are even more restless, and the media are suggesting a coaching change is imminent.
Yeah,
again,
I mean, if the Friedkins kind of, get their head out of Toffee Land and pay some attention to what's going on here. Juric, again, not a bad guy, not a great performance, but comes out railing against the ref, talks about unifying the team. They had a big row after the defeat in midweek, and he came out and he said, it was the weekend before, and he came out and he says, well, yeah, no, things got really heated and violent, but I like that. I'm like, dude, it's not normal that you like it when things get violent, unless you're, into S&M or whatever. I'm not here to judge. Already the people are talking about a coaching change. And this is based on the fact that the Friedkins, apparently they were in LA where they met with a guy I've known for many, many years, Charles Gould, who's a recruitment guy. He's got a company named Retexo who helps them hire people. The names that are out there, it's a very much a mixed bag, which suggests to me that this is just media speculation. So a portion of the fans want Claudio Ranieri because he's from Rome. Yeah. He's a Roma fan. Yeah. He was a former Roma player, and he's been there twice. And how do you not like him? Not really a move forward. Roberto Mancini, who certainly has a ton of money, but
that's true.
A former hardcore Lazio guy.
I know.
Also, I think if you're Mancini, you can hold out for something better.
Yeah.
Daniele De Rossi, who's already under contract. Nice thing is you don't have to pay him anymore, but I'm not sure he'd come back unless he says, like, guys, let me go and pick everybody at this team. Paulo Sousa, but you have to get his release from Al Shabab. And finally, Frank Lampard Jr.
Oh, my. Who's mentioned his name? Like, who's offered him?
Those are the names
I would love Frank Lampard Jr. to rock up at Roma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love it for him. I don't think if you were a Roma fan, you would be delighted to hear who's your manager? Frank Lampard Jr. Oh, okay.
No, you're not into that?
Definitely not.
My guess is they keep going with Juric. I don't know what they want to do, if they want to sell the club or whatever. Your boy Gizolfi, who I don't know.
It's tough for him. I feel a bit for him.
I tell you what, somebody at that club needs to speak and say,
you say that every week almost, but
it
is
absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
It is absolutely ridiculous. You have owners who are halfway around the world busy with another club who never speak.
Yeah.
You don't have a CEO. You have a director of football who's a mute.
It's a sad situation, I think.
Poor Juric. I mean, I know he's a tough guy, but come on. Monaco lose at home to Angers. And it's 2 defeats on the bounce for Adi Hotter and friends, who slipped to 6 points back. Jules, you say they're a bigger threat than Marseille.
Already they were. You can understand the last defeat against Nice. We mentioned it. They were down to 10 men. Okay, in the derby.
But Angers, not good, and you're at home.
Terrible.
Although, against Monaco, never really play at home.
No, but still. Angers are not a good team at all. They won the previous weekend, the first game in the season. Now they go 2-2 by winning away at Monaco, who had a horrendous the first half. Was one of the worst first halves I've seen from any teams in Europe this season in all the games that we watched, Gabby. So from such a talented side with a good coach, and he said, when we don't control our emotions, anybody can beat us. Well, I'm not sure your emotions against Angers at home should be high in the first place. If you were playing Real Madrid and you had the big Galacticos come in, and okay, maybe you feel the emotion there in a packed stadium. No, what emotions do you feel against Angers before the game? None. So a massive blip for them, really, really terrible. And now they have to bounce back in the Champions League in midweek. So it's a massive, massive game.
They're not in a bad spot in the Champions League. So
No, exactly. Yeah, but they need to really react. This was way back on Friday, Gab. Bayer Leverkusen could not go past a scoreless draw at home against Stuttgart. Is the magic wearing off a bit for Xabi Alonso?
I mean, if you discount the...
they could have won 3-0.
If you discount... I'll get there. If you discount the German... If you the results reading, if you discount the German Cup, where they played something called Elversborg, which I'm assuming is a team of elves, they've only won 2 of their last 7. And one of those was against Milan when they were very, very lucky, I thought. They're 7 points back.
It's 4 draws already, I think.
I know. It's early in the season, but 7 points back is a lot. On the other hand, in this specific game, the XG I have is 2.36. You said they could have won 3-0. They probably could have.
Times or twice.
Hit the woodwork a bunch of times. I don't think the magic is wearing off, but I do think Granit Xhaka is right when he says they have to be on point. They were on point on this game against a good opponent that made it tough for them, and they deserve the win. But they can't coast games. Maybe last year there were a couple games where they could have surprised people and whatever, but no, they have to remain focused. They have to remain on point. Yeah. Otherwise, they're not getting back into this title race. And I don't know. If they were to finish 4th or 5th, obviously Xabi Alonso will always be a legend in Leverkusen, and we all assume he's going to leave in the summer. Yeah. But everything changes if he leaves after 4th or 5th place, maybe a quarterfinal round of 16 exit from the Champions League. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, completely.
So it's hard, but hey, that's why you're Xabi Alonso. Everybody loves you. After winning away to Feyenoord, Ajax come from behind twice to beat PSV Eindhoven, who had won every league game this season. Jules, I bet you feel so sad for Peter Bosz.
What happened?
But can we also show the Wunderkind Farioli some love?
Yeah, we should, because he's transformed this team massively. Not just in this game, but since the start of the season, giving it an identity. This game was brilliant to watch. If you want to go and watch it or long highlights, because Ajax just never stopped trying, never stopped running, never stopped moving the ball. And it's not perfect. They make mistakes. It's still a very young team. Like Frisch Jim, Hato. Yes, you've got the very experienced Jordan Henderson, and our friend Neda Manua was at the game to watch Jordan. But they are just lovely to watch, and they have a game more to play. They're just behind PSV now in the table, which is going to make a very, very interesting season for them. But Farioli has changed everything.
And I have
I'm so
to
happy
say,
for him.
If you want to see something different, please, you don't often watch the Eredivisie, find the highlights there on YouTube. You can watch them on Ajax's official YouTube channel or PSV's official YouTube channel. Where weirdly on PSV's one, they're actually like a minute longer. I don't know why they'd be longer on PSV ones in a game they lost, but whatever. I know.
But yeah, really good from Farioli.
And you don't feel bad for Peter Bosz.
Absolutely not, Peter, because he got done on what Peter Bosz got done anyway.
Right, would you still take Ten Hag ahead of Peter Bosz?
Yeah, probably still somehow, just because he's younger. The Football Association here in England will reportedly allow Thomas Tuchel, Gabby, who's the New England manager, as we know, to divide his time between London and Munich. Are you happy with that, or do you think he should live full-time in England?
I don't think it makes any difference, frankly. I mean, he's going to spend a ton of time here. I think if I were the FA, I would say, hey, Thomas, okay, you're going to go watch these games. You're going to have these meetings.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
Do what you want.
you could live in Kathmandu for all I care, as long as you're on the end of the phone. I think it's important that once you put down these are your requirements, and I think in-person meetings are important, and I think visiting clubs, talking to players, I think that's really important. Obviously, watching matches is also really important. Equally, there are England players or potential England players who happen to live in Munich, like Harry Kane, and don't laugh, Eric Dyer. So, or he might want to go to Madrid and watch that Bellingham fella. So there are maybe even Milan to see some Tomori, although he's not getting in the team of late.
No.
Or Loftus-Cheek. How about that? So, who I believe he worked with before at Chelsea. So, look, this idea of being anchored to one place is silly. What's most important is that you have a good job description. You lay out what the requirements are. The requirements aren't just going to be coaching the team in international games. And if he can fulfill those in his own time is his own time.
Yeah.
Jules, Bochum are really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad.
1 point all season long. And this time they lost to Eintracht away 7-2.
7-2.
Eintracht now up to third. Omar Marmoush, I thought he was going to add to his total.
Marmoush.
He only scored 1 goal. What gives?
1 goal, 2 assists, though. So it's pretty good return from him. Ekitike scored 2. An incredible performance. They were 4-0 up after half an hour. You were like, wow. And it's because they're very good, Frankfurt. They play very attacking football. And Bochum are really bad, as we said. But for Marmoush, I mean, I don't know how long he will keep this up and if it's sustainable even. But he's already on 10 games, I think, which is the best after 10 goals in 9 games, I think, which is the best they've ever had, even better than Anthony Yeboah when he played there. All those years ago, incredible. His partnership with Ekitike up front in that two-man front two was incredible. He's incredible. They complement each other so well. I love watching them play. It's great. It might not last. I give you that. But for now, it's great.
I don't love watching them play because I always get this sense of dread defensively.
But it's part of the fun, I think, because considering 2 goals against Bochum, and to be fair, Bochum could have had easily another one.
It's hard.
It's fun. I think it's just a fun team to watch because they score goals, they give away chances, they give away goals. It's fun. But they will be better off for it, I think, at the end of the season. Fluminense have released Marcelo after a pitch-side row with his coach, Mano Menezes. Gabi's 36. Is this the end now?
This is so stupid. I watched the highlight. Basically, he was going to come on as a sub. It was like the 90th minute of a game. You could tell it was one of those substitutions where it's like, dude, I'm Marcelo. You're going to time-wasting substitution here. Mano Menezes is like explaining things to him. Marcelo looks like a sulky teenager. And then eventually Menezes says, all right, screw this. You're not coming on. And he goes, he sits down, puts on his bib. And now he's been released. I guess they're saving some money on his wages. I think he can't run anymore, but he can still hit a ball accurately. I think if you find the right level for him and he wants to keep playing, I think he can keep playing. The paradigm has changed, right?
Yeah.
For these types of players. So why not? But it's not going to be at a high level, and it's obviously not going to be even at Fluminense level. An injury time strike from Jean de Silva gives Atlanta United a 2-1 win over Inter Miami in the MLS playoffs. Jules, this means it's going to a third game.
Yeah, because if you're not familiar, it's the best to 2. Is that what we say?
Best of 3.
Best of 3, sorry. Best of 3. So the first that win 2 goes through. Not a good night for Miami. Not a good night for Leo Messi either. And Atlanta, just the hope and survive for a few more days. The whole week, actually, because the third game is next weekend, if you are interested to watch. It's been a great playoff so far because Columbus Crew, who won last season, are out. They were knocked out last night. LAFC lost 3-0 away at Vancouver to set up a third game as well, which will be in LA next weekend too for Giroud, Lloris, and all the others. So wonderful, wonderful stuff. New York City, the New York City FC qualified. So it's just all kicking off. I think it's great.
You know that the team that beat LAFC 3-0, you're going to get this. I'm used to your accent, but on social media, they will point out that...
How did you say?
They will point out that Vancouver is not in Quebec.
Vancouver, sorry. Vancouver, not Vancouver. Vancouver. Yeah, so it's good. I'm just... Yes,
although cynics And there's some already out there saying, oh, well, of course it's going to a third game, another night of Lionel Messi, an extra match of Lionel Messi on television, a few more ducats.
Imagine if somebody has said to me, Leo, it'd be good if we lose tonight.
But it does raise the point, though. Again, if Inter Miami get knocked out, this whole Club World Cup thing and let's get them in.
Their position.
That's going to rankle based on the supporters show. That's going to rankle ruffle a few feathers.
Yeah. Sofiane Amrabat scores in the 102nd minute as José Mourinho's Fenerbahce take all 3 points against Trabzonspor. Gab, a vintage celebration and post-match press conference too.
Yes, very, very angry after the game. The celebration, look, I feel a little bit bad for him because they're losing 2-1. Then Edin Dzeko manages to pull one back. And then the 12th minute of injury time, Amrabat gives him the winner. He does a thing where he's sprinting and he's going to do the slide he did when he was a younger version of himself 20 years ago. Somehow, I don't know if his foot or his knee.
The pitch is too dry, I think, so his knees just
His knee gets caught in the turf. Yeah, and he falls over. He had a good laugh about it, and then he got angry again.
Yeah, angry.
And
he said that VAR they were drinking coffee. That's why they didn't see the incident. You won the game. Just
enjoy the win. 5 points back behind Galatasaray and Victor Osimhen. By the way, your boy Mauro Icardi, there's suggestions.
Yeah.
He could be on the market in January.
Yeah. We said before, though. No, I'm not sure. We were not sure there would be room for the two of them up front.
Arsenal on loan?
Oh my God, you would love. Yeah, I'll take that.
Kai Havertz has played so many freaking minutes. What happened?
I'll have him back in Paris to score all the chances that we can't finish.
Yes, that's what we want. We want an Icardi for Colomwani swap so that Colomwani goes to Galatasaray.
Amazing.
And then Galatasaray loan Colomwani to Real Madrid so Kylian can have a friend.
Yeah, exactly. Where do I sign?
There you go. We've set it all up for you.